One of the more interesting storylines we've been hearing about leading up to Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk, the rematch, is that Wladimir Klitschko is eyeing a return to boxing. Wladimir Klitschko, former two-time heavyweight champion, one of the longest tenured champions in boxing history. It's him and Joe Louis stand alone with that record. Man who's probably won more title fights than anyone not named Joe Louis. Wladimir Klitschko, at 49 years old, wants to return to boxing. He's about 48 years old right now. He talked about how in 2025 he would like to return. His Excellency, Turki Al-Rashid, who has all the money in the world, wants Wladimir to return. He's been pushing that. Klitschko, at one point in time, it was very important to him to break George Foreman's record, to be the oldest heavyweight champion of all time. George Foreman was about 45 when he broke that record and beat Michael Moore. George Foreman was obviously much more active leading up to winning that title than Klitschko has been. Klitschko has been retired for the last 7 years since his loss to Anthony Joshua. I think Klitschko wants a rematch with Tyson Fury. I think he's always disliked Tyson. These are men with very different ideals, and I don't think there's a lot of respect for the other's ideals. I think it bothers Klitschko that the man he lost to was Tyson Fury. He had an incredible run, Wladimir Klitschko, and I think what hurt him in that Tyson Fury fight was that he was a much more reserved fighter at that point in time in his career. Wladimir Klitschko, the younger version of him, let his hands go a lot more. He also took a lot of damage, too much damage, life-threatening damage. And that's why we saw a more reserved style from him as he got older. And that reserved style really kind of hurt him against Tyson Fury, because I don't believe that version of Tyson Fury could have hurt Wladimir Klitschko. That version of Tyson Fury was very fast, but he was not a very hard puncher. And Wladimir Klitschko, I believe, hits harder than Deontay Wilder. And Tyson Fury, we know he's been on the canvas quite a few times in his career. My count totals about 8. So Wladimir Klitschko could definitely put him there. I don't think there was a doubt about that. But the speed advantage that Tyson Fury had over a 37-year-old Wladimir Klitschko was very evident. And when Tyson Fury was asked about Wladimir Klitschko's potential comeback, he said, "Good luck to you, fella. You were too slow when you were 37. You're too slow now at 49. And he's got a point. But if Klitschko wants to beat, George Foreman's record of being the oldest champ, who's he going to do it against? He's not going to fight Usyk. That's his fellow countryman. He's Daniel Dubois. Do you really want him going up against Daniel Dubois? I'm still not sold on Daniel Dubois being an excellent boxer in terms of skills. He looked so much better than Anthony Joshua in their fight back in September. But again, I don't know how good Anthony Joshua is. I don't know. I don't really think he's all that great in terms of skill. I think Anthony Joshua's strengths come from his power and his physicality and his ability to knock guys out. Daniel Dubois looked more skilled than Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua beat a 42-year-old Wladimir Klitschko. So you'd imagine Daniel Dubois, doing boxing math, could beat 49-year-old Klitschko, right? Again, I think Usyk made that Dubois fight look easy. I know the narrative in that fight is that of the low blow and was it a real knockdown. And I think Usyk would have got up. And if you take away that moment in the fight, the rest of that fight was easy for Alexander Usyk. Wladimir Klitschko, at 49 years old, trying to make a comeback. Do you want to see it? I don't think I do. And Alexander Usyk is currently representing the country of Ukraine very well. I know that's something that Wladimir Klitschko would like to do himself. But 49-year-old Wladimir Klitschko making a comeback, I don't like it. I don't. Wladimir Klitschko was the heavyweight champion of my childhood. I love Wladimir Klitschko. I watch him and Vitaly's fights to this day on YouTube. I don't know if I want to see that again. We just saw Mike Tyson lose to Jake Paul in his mid-50s. Jake Paul sucks at boxing. He's a terrible boxer. And Jake Paul couldn't hurt Mike Tyson. Daniel Dubois could hurt Wladimir Klitschko. Apparently Wladimir is in great shape. Apparently Wladimir thinks he can do this. And who can stop him, right, on his journey to pursue greatness? It would be a fantastic moment if he did it, if he could accomplish that. If he could become, the oldest heavyweight champion, it would kind of just cement himself as an all-time great. Because I think we forget that Wladimir Klitschko is an all-time great. He's a very disrespected fighter. He's one of the longest reigning heavyweight champions. Who has more title fight wins than him? Nobody. But it's Joe Louis. He's an incredible fighter, and I think he gets disrespected because we don't consider that era of heavyweights to be all that great. But realistically, they were better than the era of heavyweights that Rocky Marciano fought in, and that Joe Louis would have fought in. And it's unfortunate that that is a narrative and a mindset. Wladimir Klitschko returning at nearly 50. It's just so crazy. How can you not talk about it? And I think what happens is that he will make an announcement after Fury and Usyk. He will be in the building for that, and that'll make all the difference. So we're going to know soon whether Klitschko's coming back. But right now, we don't know for sure. Let me know what you think of Wladimir Klitschko potentially returning to boxing in the comments below.